record. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, thanks again for being on the call, Tom. Appreciate it. I'm very grateful and looking forward to your wisdom and knowledge and experience. But I have to ask you one question before you get started. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
If you could do it all over again, what's the one thing, or what would you do different? How would you have started out different?
I would have reversed how I did things.
Okay.
When we get started, the first thing we do is go out and look for people to talk to. But it's like a dog chasing a car. We can stop the dog and say, hey, what's going to happen when you catch that car? And you know what the dog's going to say? Nothing, because they can't talk. They just look at you kind of stupid. But the dog never considers what's going to happen when they catch the car. So I went out and I just looked for people to talk to. Instead of figuring out, well, once I get somebody to stop and talk to me, what am I going to say? So, in the beginning, I talked to, I don't know, maybe almost 1,500 people, and they all said no.
1,500?
What an amazing, what an amazing coincidence, all these unmotivated people. So for those watching, you probably already figured out that was a slow train wreck happening out there, that I was just ruining people on demand. So the secret isn't finding somebody to talk to. The secret is learn what to say when you have your chance to talk to them so you don't ruin them. So after a year and 10 months, it all changed when they was pointing out I was just talking to people wrong, that's all. And then 60 days later, I had a full-time income and never looked back. And so after 49 years of network marketing, I think it's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah. That's your So you know how Zoom calls have said that people have crashed the Zoom calls on TV? Well, I think now what they're doing is they're making the person who did the Zoom call and organized it check people in as they come, because they're not letting them directly.
Lila?
So I think that's what they've done.
Lila? Hello? Sorry about that. Tom, go ahead.
So if you're watching right now, instead of looking for new people to ruin, maybe consider, what should I say so people do it? So here is a way to look at it. It's not the only way, but it's a way, and it seems to work for just about everybody. And that is, everybody you and I talk to is pre-sold. Let's do a survey here. We got and talked to 100 people and asked them, do you want to live longer or die quicker? And roughly about 100 are going to say yeah. And we said, do you want more money in your life or less money? Oh. And they're going to say, well, more money sounds better. So 100% of our people are pre-sold. We don't have to go out there and talk to them and say, hey, you really should have more money in your life. It'll make it easier. And, if you live longer and used up some of your grandchildren's inheritance, it's okay. They'd rather you take them to Disney World, because when you die, their parents are going to keep the inheritance anyway. So think about this. And everybody is pre-sold. So if you and I go talk to people and watch this, they're 100% pre-sold. We talk to them and they say no. So I'll do this a little bit slower just in case we missed this here, but 100% of the people we talk to are pre-sold. We talk to them and they say no. So where do you think it all went wrong? And I'll do it again really slow, but 100% of the people we talk to are pre-sold. We talk to them and then they say no. Yeah. What's cool about this is we can fix that, but we don't know how to when we first started. So network marketing is a profession just like dentistry or engineering or accounting or truck driving. You have to have some skills. And we can't talk to them in social chit chat which is the way we've been trained to talk all our life, we have to talk to them in what's called commercial talking language, which is a way of talking to them so they don't set up salesman alarms and too good to be true filters and what's the catch, stuff like that. So we have to talk to them with certain word sequences so they don't get a whole bunch of prejudice and garbage in their head and go back and pick up the baggies they've been carrying with them all their life and do all kind of these self-sabotaging things. We have to talk to them with certain words and phrases so when we deliver our message, it doesn't bounce off the forehead, tinkle to the floor. What we have to do is talk to them with certain words and phrases so when we deliver our message, it goes deep inside of their head. And when it does, they'll hear it fairly, maybe for the first time in their life. And then once it's inside their head, we've done our job. Then it's up to them to decide if it's going to serve them or not. So that's all we do. That's our skill. And it is a skill. It's not easy to do sometimes because, people have a lot of drama going on in their heads. They fight with their spouse. Their parents may have dropped them on their head. We may look like their ex, or we could have run over their dog on the way to see them. So there's a lot of stuff that prevents them from understanding and seeing what we say. So if we can learn how to talk to them better, more people will hear the message. And if they're pre-sold, for most of them, the time is right. So is there selling? No, you don't have to sell them. It'd be better if you live long. You don't have to sell them that. They've already bought into that. All you have to do is say, here is one more, and I'll give you a magic word to start with. And I'll show you how these magic words work. If I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to call you and ask you for an appointment because I want to show you the business. Are you all ready? You tell me what instant and immediate decisions you make inside of your head when I see these words. So, hi, good friend. And you're already thinking, oh man, please don't ask me for money. Yeah. Please don't ask me to move furniture. I hurt my back last time I did it with you. That's already over. And we haven't even said anything about thieves. All we said is, hi, good friend, and it's already over. So we have a brand new person. What do we tell them to do? Call all your friends. Talk to them. And they say, what should I say? Oh, I don't know. Just make it up. They're your friends. Be yourself. I'm sending you out as human target practice to die. Enjoy. Well, that's kind of cruel, isn't it? So, hi, good buddy. I just joined a brand new business. Feel it? And I want to come over and give you a presentation. Do we see the sales alarms blaring already? And I just need 30 minutes of your time. I can't even give you 30 seconds. I'm so busy. So we feel what's going on. Now, if you feel this, you can do this business because you have something called empathy, or it's not one of these, what do they call them, narcissists. They're all worried about yourself. We understand a little bit about other people. So if you feel that, you can do this business. Because what you feel is a couple what we call brain rules. We didn't know these 23 years ago, but now we really got a grip on the brain rules due to neuroscience. Now, I'm not going to ask you to spend years studying neuroscience unless you're a nerd that likes these things, which is an awesome hobby, by the way. But when you learn what the neuroscientists have found about how people make decisions, you're going to love this. So this is going to be your easiest secret to rock and roll as soon as you hang up with this call. 1 minute after you hang up this call, it'll be so much easier. You can't imagine it. So the neuroscience that they discovered back then said, we've got it wrong all these years. All right. It says, the company says, we'll do everything. We'll make the brochures. We'll make the products. We'll ship the products. We'll even ship it to people. We'll handle the FDA. We'll have lawyers. You don't have to make the, your company says we can do everything. We don't even need you guys. We can ship directly to the customer. The only thing we need is for you to do the one thing we can't do. And that is to get people to make a decision. A decision to buy the products or a decision to join the business. So here's the partnership. The company does everything. And all we do is get a decision. I'll do that again. The company does everything, and all they want us to do is get a decision. So for everyone sitting here tonight, all we are in is the decision-making business. And it is so easy because the neuroscience has shown us how to do it overnight. And you say, well, why isn't everybody doing this already? Well, neuroscience, when they found out how people make decisions, say that's the most important thing salesmen need to know. Let's give it to humanity right now. Let's publish it in all these papers because that's what salespeople read for in their free time. They don't watch Netflix and stuff like that. So they published all this neuroscience in really bad jargon, put it in these papers, and let's face it, salesmen don't like to read. So all I do is read the papers and translate it and find the stuff that just might work. That's really cool. So here's your first brain rule. Write this one down. The brain wants to make instant decisions. That's like right away. And the reason it wants to make instant decisions is it has a lot of stuff to do. So when you say, I need 20 minutes of your time, they say, man, I got to make a decision on what's for dinner tonight, what I'm going to do at work tomorrow, who fed the dog, where we're going to go on a holiday, the decisions are piling up. They can only do one at a time because they're, our minds, our conscious mind can only have one thought at a time. So all these things are piling up and it's stress. So it just wants to make quick, instant decisions immediately and get on to the next one. And you say, yeah, but don't I have to give people a presentation and tell me about this stuff? Oh, check this out. Tina and I are going out for ice cream when we're done with this call. Who wants to come with us? Half the people raise their hand, yes, and half don't. They say, well, you guys live too far away. And half the people say, yeah. And we made that decision before we said where we're going for ice cream, if Tina was paying for the ice cream or not, how many flavors there were, what's the saturated fat of the ice cream, do we have to bring our own hand sanitizer when we come? Do you feel it? Our brain wants to make instant and immediate decisions. Get it over with because we have other things to do. And it's constantly pressured with millions of decisions backed up that we'd like to think about. So, we feel like we have some input because our subconscious mind makes all of them if we don't do it. So people are rushed for time. So the first rule is people make instant decisions. Rule number 2. People make decisions based upon zero information. There's no information ever used in the human making decision. Get over it. It's just the way it is. Let me give you an example of some instant decisions. If you ever seen a man with a remote control, click, 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 how long does it take him to make a decision to watch that channel or not? Over. How many people sit down with a prospect from the moment you sound the prospect is leaning back, folding their arms, frowning? Hey, they already made a decision. What was their decision? No. Based on how much information? Zero. And I haven't even said my first word yet. How many people invited somebody to an opportunity meeting and they did not show up? Well, have they made a decision? Yeah. What was their decision? No. Based on how much information? Zero. How many people looked at the video on YouTube? How many seconds into the video before we make the decision to watch it or not? 3? 5? Now, I'm going to be cruel here for a second. Everyone here has already picked up that people make instant decisions before information. So you're going to get a telephone call right now from a salesman. Ta-da! And when the call comes in, what are you going to do? We're going to make an instant and immediate decision. It's a salesman. We haven't even answered the call. We saw the caller ID. Over. You and I make instant decisions to people instantly before the information. Get over it. Now, if you and I make instant decisions to salespeople instantly without even a presentation, if that's what we do you think other people would do that to us? What percentage of the time? And there we have it.
Oh.
So when you and I talk to people, how quick are they going to make a yes or no decision to use our product or join our business? He says, that's insane. They're going to make it before you even start. And you go, holy cow, that is unreal. So get over it. It's just the way it is. And if you don't think people make decisions before they have all the information, try this. How many people here ever entered a relationship or got married before you had all the information? That should help you remember. So now that we got that out of the way, and I know you don't like it, I know you don't even want to believe it, but here's the deal. People make decisions first. So now, you go to the grocery store, aisle 4, grab your cart. Let's walk down aisle 4. One step on the left, box of cornflakes. We instantly say in our side of our mind, cornflakes. I wonder if they have a company video. Tell me about the company founder. Is it natural, international, supernatural, all natural? Any testimonials? How about some research reports? And no, we don't do that. We just go cornflakes, instant decision, and we go down the aisle. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, 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 donuts, yes, yes, no, no, no. And we make instant, immediate decisions on everything there without even looking at the ingredients. So that's how people think. So get over it. When you and I call people and say, give me, well, remember what we said? I just need 30 minutes of your time because I want to give you a, catch this word, presentation. What does presentation mean to people? Whoa, what are you going to sell me? If I don't buy, I'll be embarrassed. I don't want to do it. I want to spend money and you're my friend. This is awful. Yeah, we kill ourselves on demand. So if you're only going to remember one thing from tonight, remember this word. Instead of using the word presentation, use the word options. Now, think in your mind, what's the difference between those words? What does options mean? Options means, well, I'm at least going to have some choices. Whoa, that's okay which choice I take. Because it's an option. And that means you're not going to force me into one or the other. Great. And when I have options, I don't have to take it. But, you know, the only way these options will benefit me is if I can use it. So let me pay attention, look for reasons why I could use this option instead of looking for why not to get rid of people with sales presentations. So just stop using the word presentation if that's what turns off your market and use the word options. And everybody loves more options. You go to an all-you-can-eat buffet and all they have is tofu. Wouldn't you want more options? I think so. So just that one thing will make it easier when you talk to people. I'd just like to give you a couple more options. I go, wow, that would be great. So now that we have this in mind, that we make instant decisions, it's over. How do we do this in real life? How do we make decisions? Everybody here on this call has this program. Some have it a little bit, some have it a lot, like me. And that is, we're afraid to talk to people because we hate rejection. We don't want to make it look like we're trying to make money off our friends. We don't want to make them uncomfortable. We don't want to be one of these high-pressure, sleazy salesmen from the 1970s going door to door. We don't want to do that. And we're afraid of the icky moment when we close. What are we going to say? So we don't embarrass our friend. And we don't get rejected and feel bad. And let's look at it this way. Our new people, they're going to go out and say the wrong things to 2 or 3 people, say, man, that didn't work. And they're going to stop. They say, I'll stop until I learn what to say. And then our response is we never tell them. That's just stupid. So let's go to work. Let's learn how to close, because the only thing we have to do is close. The company's done everything else. Don't you guys have like an online catalog or an explanation website? Do you have any of these things? And the answer is, let me see. Do I have it? Yeah, I think so. I think the company's done just about everything except for closing the prospects. So I guess the only thing I got to do is close the prospects, and the answer is yeah. So let's go to work. I'll give you 2 easy closes tonight, and you can use them right away from the moment you hang up and sound pro. Now, for those of you that have read some of my books, well, you've written 40-some books. You have 2 books on closing, one on pre-closing, which is the best because we can close before we even start, and one on regular closing for the people that say, well, I still need to say something at the end so I don't sound stupid, and kind of wrap it up so I don't have to talk forever and hope they volunteer, which is my stupid plan. So I'll give you 2 new closes that you can use, equally simple. So if you have the books, at least the call will be worthwhile. If you don't have the books, these will still work, so don't worry. Are you ready? So here's the first one, because people make instant decisions. And this one is cool because you can use it at the beginning or at the end. So I'm just, I know most of you still don't believe that people make decisions before the presentation even starts. You don't even believe it. And I'm not asking you to, because it's going to take a while to change all of our previous beliefs to reality. So even though we may not be ready for reality yet, we still have to do it in our regular life. So this call, this close that we're going to use in this call will work at the end perfectly, and I'll show you. And then we're going to use it at the beginning to get rid of all stress that we've ever had in our entire career. But here it is at the end, because that's how you believe things work at the moment. So we finished our long, stupid, silly, useless 30-minute presentation. The ones that anchors around our neck, holding us back. Because, remember the ice cream example? People make decisions quick, don't they? They don't want to hear me come up and say, let me tell you about the kilocalories of the saturated fat and which saturated fats are better for your body than the others. And they don't want to hear that for 30 minutes. They just want to know, are you going to ask me to want ice cream or not? But we did the whole presentation. And they're sitting there at the end, and then you know what's going to happen at the end. It's dead silence. They look at us, we look at them. They look at us, we look at them. Dead silence. We're going to have to say something. This is the moment where we're sweating and worrying about. We're going to feel icky. So here's what we're going to say. And remember in the back of your brain the options word. What we're going to do is give an option. We're going to say, so you don't have to do anything. So if you're writing this down, so you don't have to do anything. Now, what are they thinking when you say that at the end? Whoa, thank goodness you're not going to pressure me. We can still be friends. I don't have to think of silly excuses like it's a pyramid or something like that. Thank goodness. Oh, thank you. And I don't have to do anything. I don't like change anyway. Too much. I just like to be here and be a vegetable in front of the TV. So you don't have to do anything. How are they going to feel so far? Great. Comma, and things will remain the same. They're going to say, woohoo. Things remain the same. I know how that ends up. That's pretty good. I'm okay. How do they like us? They love us. But what we've just done is given them option number 1. Now, here's the third rule of the brain. The brain hates thinking. So if you're going to get it to make a decision or make a choice, how many choices do you think it wants to choose from? 1, usually. 2 is the limit. So that's all we're going to give them is 2. When you give people 3 or more choices, it causes it to think more. And decisions does not happen in the thinking part of the brain. Decisions happen in a different part of the brain. We have to be aware of this. We're not when we started, so we think if we give them information and educate them, they'll make a decision. Wrong. If they stay in the education thinking part of their mind, they are biologically unable to make a decision. Biologically. It can't happen. Will never happen. And maybe at the end of the call, remind me, I'll explain why. And that's why we should stop educating them. Because if you do, you'll keep them in the part of the brain that cannot make a decision. This part of the brain cannot trigger a decision, can't make a decision, and it prevents it from happening. So what do we do as networkers when we can't get a decision? We educate them more, give them more reasons, and that permanently keeps them there. It's just the worst possible thing. These are things we would probably want to learn in our career. So our job is to get a yes or no decision. That's it. So let's get on it. So you don't have to do anything and things will remain the same. Sentence number 2. Remember, we got to give them 2 options here. Sentence number 2 is or, comma, if you are ready to change now, if you are ready to change now, comma, let's get started. Period. So we've given them 2 options. You can stay where you are, keep life as it is, keep your miserable life. Option number 2 is if you're tired of your miserable life, let's do something about it. That's it. And they say, thank you for giving me options. I'm in charge. I don't feel pressured. I get to make a choice. This is the best thing ever. And yeah, I want a better life. I think I'll take the option to change now. That's it. So let me show you how that works at the end. Let's just say that you sold some sort of hand sanitizer, just for an example. So you might say, so you don't have to do anything, and the germs and virus will have a express lane right into your body. Or if you want to stop them right now on your hands, you should get one for you and maybe a couple for your mom. How hard was that? And they say, I was kind of looking forward to my mom dying, just one for me. Okay, that's their decision. They get to make it. So you don't have to do anything, and you can continue getting by on 1 paycheck. Or if you would like to get 2 paychecks a month, let's get enrolled and get you started now. Wow, that wasn't so hard. So you don't have to do anything, and your children can continue going to school with, with not enough antioxidants, unprotected. Or if you like to protect them against all that stuff that goes around at school, let's get you a case of Ninja right now. And if they say no, turn them into child services. So, Ariana, on this is the easiest close in the world. And you don't have to do like I do. I used to talk and just hope they said yes. And they never did. So, but you say, but when I start, sometimes I sit down and people have their arms folded, leaning back. What am I going to do? Well, what are they thinking? Oh, I got to find a reason to say no because then you're going to high pressure me. Well, we sit down with our evil uncle, cigar smoking, used car salesman uncle. He says, all right, Pyramid Boy, give me your best sales pitch. And we know this is not going well already. So to my evil uncle, I say, relax, evil uncle. You don't have to do anything. And your pension will keep coming in. Don't worry. But if you're ready to double your pension now, let's talk. Twitch, 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 twitch. All right, let's talk. And what has happened? He's already made a yes decision. So now I'm not selling or doing a sales presentation. I'm just what? I'm just giving him the details. The decision's already made. Now, here's where we're going to go for ice cream and stuff like that. That's it. Disabled right away. So if you feel any tension at the beginning when you talk to people, just say, hey, relax, you don't have to do anything. Things don't mean the same. This is the only option. But, if you'd like to have an extra check, let's talk now. So easy. And if you're thinking, wow, that is so cool. Anybody can do it. And the answer is, yeah, this is so easy. Even men can do it. So let's do the second one. The second one, let me put where is it here? There's a chat thing here. We won't have a lot of time here to do some magic words. I'm going to give you a link. You can download a bunch of stuff free. How many people here could afford free? All right, so there's a couple audios here on magic words because we don't have time today to go into all these magic words that you can say that just gets people to go yes, yes, yes immediately before we start. But there's like hundreds of magic words and phrases you can say. And we already learned one, just say the word option instead of presentations. The difference is night and day. And a magic word phrase of what to say. So you don't have to do anything and things get started. And for those who didn't write it down and you're on your iPad or computer, I am going to put it here in let me here, use my high tech here. I can cut and paste it right in here. Here we go. There you are. That's close number 1. Do y'all have that? There you go. Now, before I do close number 2, let me put in a link here where you can download some free stuff. And what's in there is a thing called the closing report. It's 2 pages. It's going to take you 4 minutes to read. Now, you don't have to do anything, and closing will be hard for the rest of your life. Or, if you want to learn how the human mind actually physically makes a decision step by step so you can talk to this part of the brain and do it in 4 minutes, read the closing report at this link here. As a matter of fact, I think if you go to this link here, you download the closing report. It's the 2 pages, 4 minutes, and you will know more than 99% of every salesman who has ever lived in the history of mankind instantly. The mind makes 5 little steps, and we can only control 4 of those, but don't worry. We can do that within 5 to 10 seconds. 15 seconds at the longest if you stutter. So if you think that is amazing, it is, because that's how we work. That's why we go down the grocery store aisle saying yes, yes to the donuts and no to the, dried beans or something. So, well, okay. So let me type free stuff here. Free stuff. I can't multitask because I'm a guy. So see, there you go. There, free stuff. There's the link. Now the second close is a little bit more complicated because it might require us to have to say a second sentence, but usually the first one does it. And I'm going to type it in here, close number 2. I got to make it so it kind of works. Okay. I love you. Does it make sense to? And what it is, does it make sense to? And then what we're going to do is advance the conversation to what we're asking them to do. So, does it make sense to? And then you'll see there in parentheses the word advance, which means we're going to tell them to, step forward and do what we want them to do. So, does it make sense to have this natural hand sanitizer? Or does it make sense to stop the wrinkles? Or does it make sense to be healthier instead of doing something else? So let me do an example. So at the end, we just say, well, does it make sense to start having a second paycheck, comma, instead of, and there's magic in the words instead of, I'll explain in a moment. Instead of, keeping it high or keeping it low or keeping, I guess I should say, does it make sense to instead of keeping? And when we say instead of, it just means you're already doing something already, so you don't have to change. But since you're already doing it already, this might be a better option. Let's do this. Does it make sense to give your children Ninja Red every morning instead of sending them to school unprotected? Does it make sense to drink Ninja Red with 46 different antioxidants instead of orange juice that has only 1 antioxidant, vitamin C, and 13 grams of sugar? Does it make sense to having 2 paychecks every month instead of trying to get by on 1 paycheck every month? So that's all you have to say, sentence number 1. You see, so why do you have sentence number 2 in there? And that is because maybe 90% of the people just say, yeah. But 10% might say, well, I'm not sure. I got to think about this. This is too hard for my tiny brain to figure out. 2 choices already overwhelmed it. I was taught not to make a decision. All right. So for whatever reason they want to delay, you say, well, okay, so what do you think is, a good next step? And they will tell you. So you say, well, does it make sense to get started now and, get the builder's pack and get a, fast start to building a good income instead of getting by on 1 paycheck? Well, I don't know. It's a lot of money. I got to think about it. And you say, okay. And they go, oh, thank you. So what do you think would a good next step be here? Well, maybe I just like to start now and just get some Ninja Red for the kids. Okay. So if for any reason they say no to what we suggest there, just say, okay, what do you think would be a good next step, for you? And, well, I think a good next step for me is to take my husband to visit with you so he can get scanned, and then we've got to talk about what we should get. Okay. So how easy is that? So I don't know which of these 2 closes are best for you, but there's 2 new ones that you can use right away, and they're rejection-free. We can use it right away. No fear, never pushy. People have options. They're already sold. We don't have to sell them on anything. We just have to give them another option. So I don't know how you feel about closing, but for my first year and 10 months in the business, I was petrified. I didn't even want to talk to people hardly because I said, even if they let me talk to them, what am I going to say next at the end? Because we just didn't have any clue. So here's a couple of things you can take away from the call. The bad news is it's all over in about 10 seconds. They've already made up their mind about 10 seconds in if they're going to do it or not. Get over it. The good news is you and I only have to be good for about 10 seconds. So if we just learn some of the magic words to start with, listen to those 2 audios that I told you to download, and if we just learn a few magic words, we're going to be better than 99% of our competition already because they're not even trying. They're just going out there saying the same stupid stuff. They say, well, I finally get somebody to talk to me. I say stupid stuff, and then they say no. Now where can I find a new person to ruin? Well, that's kind of a bad cycle. There's no reason you and I have to do that cycle over and over again for years till we figure out how to say better stuff. We can just learn how to say better stuff right away. We don't have to go through that. And you say, well, shouldn't I be chanting affirmations, singing the company song, getting motivated, yelling to the mirror in the morning, I'm one with the universe, and get pumped up and being positive? Yeah. You can do that on the side. But that's not what the company asked us to do. The company asked us to get people to make a yes decision. And the only thing they pay us for is the only thing they want us to do, which is to get people to say yes. Now, I'm not real familiar with your comp plan, but what's the bonus on somebody who says, I need to think it over? Or will we advance to silver if everybody says, well, that's just not for me? Or will we advance to, no. The only thing the company pays us for is to do our job. And our job is not to jump up and down at a Tony Robbins workshop, although that is good because that helps our motivation and our mindset and keeps us doing things when we're having ultimate failure because we're doing the wrong things. There's nothing wrong with personal development. I'm not saying that at all. Matter of fact, probably 80% of our success is personal development, but the other 20% is called skills. And if you have a Ferrari and you're missing 20%, which is the wheels, it ain't going very far. It sounds cool. So we got to do the 20%. And you're going to look around and people come in and says, well, I thought all I had to do was talk to people. Yeah, but you should say the right words, You say the wrong words, you're going to die. So let me give you an example of right words and wrong words. Anybody can talk to people, but it's how you say the words. I'm on a date and I say to the young lady, when I look in your eyes, time stands still. Or I could say to her, your face would stop a clock. Now, same message, different words. Would there be a different result? So what's happening? If we say the old words, it's going to be a lot of bad dates. If we learn to say better words, we don't have to have any dates. We'll have instant relationships. It's going to be a lot better, isn't it? So please, please, please learn the words to say. And so here's the homework. Start practices. Let's take, just pick the one you like. And you say, well, the one I like is, I like the one that went, so you don't have to do anything and things will remain the same. So start practicing right now. When you hang up the phone, say to the kids, hey, you don't have to do and eat your vegetables. Don't worry. Things remain the same. But if you're ready to maybe have dessert in your life, let's start eating some vegetables now. And how hard is that? And we do that, and after a couple of days, we're like champion closers. So you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to clean your room. It will remain looking the same. But if you're ready to have a Wi-Fi code tonight, let's start cleaning. I mean, we could practice all day and all night. We could just mess with people. And if you have other people in your home, mess with them. Magic words are fun. They say, wow, I could do this. This will be the coolest thing ever. So out of those two closes, I don't know which one you like, but and for those that maybe joined late, let me type the other one in here for y'all. There you are. So you don't have to do anything and things remain the same. It is so easy to do. But homework, practice these two. Right away, 1 minute after you do this, you say, well, the first one didn't sound so good. The next one a little bit better. By tomorrow morning, you will be awesome. Used car salesman will worship the ground you walk on. It'll be that awesome because you know how to get a decision. Number 2, please download. Please, please, please download those free audios at the bigalbooks.com free report. If you go to bigalbooks.com, you'll see I wrote a lot of books. You say, well, which book should I start with? Up to you. But you say, well, I just need to get kind of a head start now. I don't need to read all these books. You want to have one that kind of summarizes a lot of things, like how to get started. So let me type that one in. This one we give all our books to Amazon because they can do them like really cheap and get them to people cheap because there's Prime and stuff. But this one book is guide. There it is. It's in the notes. It's called Quick Start Guide. That might give us a hint that might be the first one we should read. And this book will cost you $4.95. I checked on Amazon. And you can download it and be reading it now. And in 90 minutes, you could go from 0 to a fully functional distributor, knowing exactly what to say, how to handle almost all the common objections, everything in 90 minutes. So I tell people, invest $10, buy a $5 cup of fancy coffee, and $4.95, download the book onto your iPhone or on your computer or Kindle, whatever you have, and 90 minutes later, you're ready to go. And Amazon needs the money. I mean, they got to give bonuses to their workers now, so that's cool. And you say, well, but you say get the ebook. Yeah, I think you can order the paperback now. For about a month, they weren't shipping paperback books, and we checked with them why, and they said, well, we don't consider books an essential service, so we're not really printing them and sending them to people right now. We have to concentrate on toilet paper. So how do I feel about my books? Really? But I think you can get a paperback now, but you couldn't before. But below $4.95 on the ebook. Start reading your iPhone, and you'll learn cool ways to handle objections. Stuff like somebody says, "Well, that's awfully expensive," and if you feel right now inside your heart, well, yeah, I hear that a lot. And I said, yeah, I know you hear that a lot. So what do you say? Well, I don't know. Every time it catches me surprised, like I think it'll never happen again, or I look for somebody who doesn't say it, or I said, oh, that's a good plan. No, that's not a good plan. We got to learn what to say. So if you'd like to know what to say, I'll do this real quick and I'll turn it back to Tina. I mean, we could be here days, and at some point you guys might consider sleep. So here it is. If somebody says it's too expensive, we simply say that, yes, it is expensive. The company wanted to make a cheaper version, but they knew it wouldn't work and they didn't want to rip you off. And we're done. Done. But anyway, let me turn it back to Tina here. For everybody here on the call, information is pretty cool stuff, but putting it into action is the only stuff that really does work. So start closing from the moment you hang up. Start practicing. Close your spouse on something, and pretty soon you'll feel relieved and lots of cool things happen because you know what to say. Your microfacial expressions change, your tone of voice, a lot of things happen automatically. And for another day. So just start practicing one of those two closes that you particularly like. And download all the free stuff there. There's 2 audios to listen to. There's a free book on why you should do network marketing, closing report. Download the free stuff. And if you're kind of like ready to get started like instantly, I want to say, man, I just want to go from 0 to 100 mile an hour in 90 minutes. All right, here it is. Download and read that book. It'll take you 90 minutes, and we're on our way. But just do something. So Tina, over to you, and thanks a lot for inviting me on the call.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom. Do you mind answering a couple questions?
Well, I think we should have asked that a different way, don't you?
Yes. Okay.
Let me see.
Would it
Tom,
be
you can
okay?
hang up and run away, and things will remain the same. Or if you really want to help somebody now, can we ask a couple questions? We can do that one.
Okay.
Or we could. What's the other one here? Let's just practice. What's the other one? All right. Well, does it make sense to answer a couple questions now instead of having the most important questions for people remain unanswered forever? And if I said no, and you said, well, Tom, what do you think a good next step would be? And I'd, okay, I'll do it. So, yeah, so we can just practice right now on this stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, you already had me at the smile. That's another way. So,
Anybody want to practice? Let's try you, Michael. You ready to practice?
Okay, I'll go. I'm in the life insurance industry, so that's the context that I'm gonna practice in. So, does it make sense to have a life insurance policy instead of keeping your family in a lot of uncertainty? Okay.
Yeah. So right away, he did a great job. He gave him a choice, a binary choice. And 2 choices, awesome. 3 choices, 4 choices, fall on the sword. That was great. So giving him that limited choice is good. So let's just pick life insurance. So does it make sense to have one low monthly life insurance premium that takes care of your retirement and also builds you some emergency savings instead of trying to put money away for all these 3 things and having nothing left in your budget for fun? Yeah. Or we could have done, what's the other close here? So you don't have to do anything, and your situation will be the same. You still have to put money away for retirement. You still have to put money away for emergency fund and savings. You still have to try to figure out how to save enough money in case something happens to you now that your family can live forever, or you can take care of it all right now for $85 a month. Or, yeah, we can do a lot of things. Yeah, great. So you really got put on the spot. That was cruel, Tina.
Yeah, she knows how how enthusiastic I am about your teachings. You came out. I met you. I think it was almost 9 years ago, and before that, I'm like, the whole thing I've been wondering just with companies that I went in, period. I'm like, what do I say? And then you did the presentation for us that night, and I was like, wow. And what I'm amazed in, even after all that time, I'm like, you have people that like they've been way more, I'll be honest, they've been way more successful, but it's like, I am just surprised at how many people are just unaware of your teachings.
Yeah.
I say, Tom, who is that? I'm like, y'all, this guy is a legend. This guy is a legend. But what I wanted to ask you real quick before somebody else goes. Is it a good guess, and it's just a guess of mine, to say like pretty much with most companies, a lot of these products and services are excellent products and services. They're just not they're just not utilizing the skills that you teach. Because
Sure.
I'm thinking like if you know what to say, like I was mentioning earlier to Tino and some of the other people, it's like at least I'm not looking for a yes every time. I'm looking for a response. That way if I pay attention to you, if I'm watching you, I'm listening to you, then I know whether whether you're saying yes. You don't have to say any words. You just, your body language, you're telling me yes or you're telling me no. It's simple
All right,
as
so
that.
the
This
answer
doesn't
is
take long. My bad.
the company. It's not their job to get decisions. That's our job. They do their job like really cool. It's our job to learn what to say and talk to people. They have nothing to do with that. They said the partnership is you guys do that. So they're not going to teach you what to say and do. No, they're going to spend all their resources doing their job, which is keeping you legal and stuff like that. So Michael, I put a link in here. There's a special book with magic words for insurance people. So there's a link for you. You'll do that.
I have it.
All right.
I
so
have
here's
the
the deal.
ebook.
All right. Here's the deal, Michael. When you talk to people, you can give people an option. So you don't have to do anything. And things are the same. Or if you're ready to change now, let's get started. So you can say, so you don't have to do anything and things remain the same. Although I do sell life insurance and you might want to get more. But if you're ready to live longer so you don't need extra life insurance, let's get you some Ninja Red now. And for Tina, she can say, you don't have to do anything. I have a friend named Michael that sells life insurance. He says, you'll be needing it soon. Or if you're ready to maybe live longer, let's get you a case of Ninja Red now. So we just need to practice and think of things. You may never use them, but pretty soon our brain is wired this way just to make the deal. So our job is we give people choices and we let them choose whatever they want. But here's the secret. We get to make the choices. So if we get to make the choices, we're going to probably win almost every time. So Tina, let me turn it back to you. Maybe you have another question too, because Michael is ready to go out and sell.
I was just thinking, I think it just came to my mind. There's two things that I do that you taught me. And one of them is, well, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, you can either meet on Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. So I learned to only just give them two questions. I got that from you. And then the other one.
Before we go on, let me talk to people about this. If you listen to Tina closely, she did something genius. Everybody goes out and says, you want to meet Tuesday or Thursday, and people feel pressured. Oh, salesman. But she says, she started off by saying what? You don't have to. And she gave them an out right away so they don't have to think up a silly objections and they don't have to trigger sales alarms. She just put that little thing ahead of that, still said the same words, totally different. She's a natural, of course. She was born with these skills. But no, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I didn't want people to miss out.
I listened to a lot of you and read a lot of your books. But the other one was, I thought was key, was the encloser. It was, you don't have to, but if you decide to, do you want to use you can either use PayPal or a credit card. Which one would you like to use? And that one seems to really help them to make that decision. And like you said,
people like simple.
Yeah.
So let me give you a really bad close. The bad close is, well, you can start by just paying the membership fee, or you can do this in my wholesale retail. We have a pack at $300. We have a $600. We have the builder pack at $1,500, $2,500. You get these here, and this gives you this option here. And what happens is yeah, we've lost him. And if you'd like to know why, I forgot. I'll tell you Phineas Gage. I promised earlier and I forgot. Phineas Gage, here's the story. This guy, 1848, named Phineas Gage, had this long iron. He's tapping dynamite down a hole. The dynamite exploded and the iron went through his eye and out the back of his head. And miraculously, even in 1848, this guy lived. Now, before you feel too sorry for the guy, the brain doesn't have any pain nerve endings, so it didn't hurt. But he healed, lost the eye and went through part of his brain. And when he recovered, this is like the beginning of really cool neuroscience. They checked him, and his language skills was okay. His logic was okay. Everything's okay. Except they noticed something, that he couldn't sort of make a decision. And he would sit down and he'd look like like an example. He'd look like a plate. There's peas and corn. Which one should I eat first? Which one should I eat first? Which one should I eat first? And he couldn't make up his mind. So he went back to work, and his mind would just go on this loop. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Like a computer program that's locked up. I don't know what I could do. And of course, it ruined the poor man's life because he couldn't make a decision. Now, in their neurological examination of him at the time, they'd show him some pictures of like really bad things, like suffering children. And he says, yes, I see it. Yes, I understand. But, I don't really have any feelings toward it. And they got thinking, when that rod went through his brain and knocked out a little part of one of the front lobes, maybe that's where that was where emotions happen, because he was sort of emotionless. And so they start checking other people that had like brain tumors and stuff on that side of the brain over the years, and they noticed they had the same problem. So what had happened is they kind of located that one of the trigger points of emotions in the brain is in the front lobal area there. And they figured out if the brain loses its ability for emotion, it is unable to trigger a decision. So it can understand, it can think things over and over, but it'll just go round and round and round and round. So in order for a decision to happen, even if people understand everything, it can't happen unless there's the emotion to trigger it. So what about engineers? Well, engineers, they get 2 bids for the city. I'm an engineer for the city. One bid is really low and the next one is a lot higher. And the engineer says, well, logically the lower bid, but wait, what if they don't finish? What if they do a shoddy job? What if the bridge collapses? They're going to blame me, and then my family will be ridiculed every time they walk up and down the street, and I'll lose my job, and I'll lose my income, and maybe my family will leave me. And what bid do they take? Well, it is the city's money, and they'll justify it. Well, we want quality. We got to be sure for the safety of the citizens. Every decision is triggered emotionally. It cannot happen unless emotion is there. So stop giving people information. So here it is at the end of your presentation. They can't, oh, I'm not really sure if I should do this or not. Oh, wait, let me push you into the analytical side of your brain where no decision is possible to be made by giving you more testimonials, more information, more proof. And let me keep you there in the analytical side of your mind where it's biologically impossible for you to trigger a decision forever. The worst possible thing we can do. So if you have a presentation, a sales presentation now, stop. It's an anchor around your neck, holding your back, crushing you. You'll read about it in the Get Started book, or you'll kind of get a hint about it when you listen to the audios. That's a start. All you need to know right now is, here's something you can use. It'll work whether you know how it works or not. So remember what Tina said about appointments? Wasn't that brilliant? It's easy. So what else we got, Tina?
I don't know. Does anybody else have any questions out there? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
There is no such thing as a stupid, silly question, because I do a lot of them.
Well, we're all in quarantine right now, and so our connection with people mainly is through social media. there's some way to use these things through that?
Yeah.
Language.
On social media, you just have to talk to people or message them. Those both of them will require words. So let's just try this. How about a text message? Somebody just put that in the thing there, text. So you could text them 2 sentences, like sentence number 1 in parentheses, put the word problem. Sentence number 2 in parentheses, would it be okay if? Close parentheses. Would it be okay if? There you go. So, first text. Are you having trouble sleeping at night with all the stress of quarantine? Question mark. What do you think they might text back? Yes. Next text. Would it be okay if you could sleep better naturally? Question mark. Would it be okay if you could sleep better naturally? Question mark. In case you didn't notice, we are asking them for a decision.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't tell them the benefits of sniffing this herb or lavender oil. We just asked for a decision. Was that hard? Or first question, when you get out of quarantine and go back to work, comma, are you looking forward to commuting back to Detroit back and forth every day? No. Would it be okay if you and I chatted about another option? Yes. That wasn't that hard, was it? Will your children have to go back to school again next fall? Yeah. Would it be okay if you could protect them against all those germs and stuff and costs the kids are going to bring with them to school? Yeah. Do you find yourself feeling kind of lazy and tired, especially being quarantined in the same house over and over? Yeah. Would it be okay if you could have instant energy anytime you want? Yeah. How are we doing? Are you getting tired of stuffing chemicals inside your children's mouth twice a day when they brush their teeth? Yeah. Would it be okay if you put something natural inside their mouth instead? Yeah. I mean, we could do this all day long. I mean, we just need to practice messing with people. So those are 2 sentences. Those are called tiny questions. It's a skill we can learn later, but you can start using it right now. It works all the time.
Love it. Great. Did that help, Polly? Good. Anybody else? Tashina? Denise? Anybody have any questions? Well, Tom, I thought it was absolutely fabulous. But I know that everybody, or most people are wondering, I'm sure.
Uh-oh.
Big Al, Tom, what is your name? Why do they call you Big Al?
My name's Tom, and many years ago, I lived in Chicago. And there's previous friends and stuff. There's this Al Capone guy, and people make fun of you. It's an evil practical joke that I really don't want to go into. So, but the name stuck with me forever. I never get rid of it. So I've always been known as Big Al, and I've lost weight, and I'm really a nice guy. I'm afraid of my shadow. I'm an introvert. These are just mean people, but that's how I got the nickname.
Good to know you have mean people in your life too.
They're programmed that way, so I get even with them. I just mess with them all the time with magic words. It's fun.
I got to learn to do that more. I have to tell you something you're going to love though.
Okay.
Mike now raises chickens. He gets them from the egg and he now has 65 chickens. And for the last 2 years, he's had his favorite rooster and he's named him Big Al because he's a big rooster. So your name is in our household every day. It's funny.
And Michael's such a kind soul. He raises these chickens organically and naturally and then cut off their heads and eats them, right? No,
right.
Just kidding. But hey, that's cool. So All right, the name goes on in roosters.
Remind us to remember our words.
So everybody, practice these closes. And when you do that, you'll never fear closing again. And when the fear doesn't show up in our microfacial expressions, people react like 100% differently. It's like magic. You just can't imagine life before versus after until you're in the after. And it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you again so much. I was so grateful that you took the time out tonight to work with us. And thanks for being my friend. Means a lot.
Right.
Helps me to want to soar in this business. And yeah, I look at you as a mentor and someone that I want to emulate and help change the world with you.
And I'll come up to Northern Michigan when I get back into the States. So let me know and we'll come and do a live workshop for folks. And we can all have a good time learning some magic words. And you'll learn a whole bunch of magic words on those 2 free downloads. So make sure you listen to them. You'll laugh till milk shoots out your nose, but that's okay. We will have a great time on those audios.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks again.
All right. Bye, everybody. And good luck. And see you on the next call or in person when I come up to see Tina.
All right. Thanks. Bye, Tom.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tina.
You're welcome. Thanks for being on the call, Michael.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Nice meeting everybody.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thanks, Tina.
You're welcome. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tina. Have a good night. And maybe we can do this same thing in Canada once this COVID's done.
I love that. That sounds good.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye, Lorraine. I can't hear you. Let me try. There we
Okay.
go. All right. Now I can hear you.
Yay!
So excited when I see you on the call.
I was so excited to see you post this today. I'm like, oh, I get to see Tina tonight too. This is the best day ever. Oh, thank you so much for doing.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to stop recording. Hold on. I can always edit it.
That's okay. You can stop it.